Hi everybody, it's Marosa. If you're new here, I am a musician out of New York City, R&B singer-songwriter, and I guess I'm somewhat on a vlog journey because I'm trying to upload every Monday. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm hoping to have a lot more videos coming soon. I also do want to upload some cover songs, trying to really be on my YouTuber bag, so to speak. But today I'm going to talk about declining mental health in romantic relationships and the perspective I wish I had when I was 19. So, I guess this video is going to be mostly geared to younger people, but honestly, toxicity in relationships can happen at any age. So maybe if you're like 25 and older, maybe it will work for you too. Um, so a bit about me. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder since I was 15. And I had my first inpatient mental health hospital stay at 12. So I've been in the mental health system for a very long time. As I was pretty isolated. I didn't really have too many friends. Once I got sick. Before I got sick, I was very social, very out there. I was in like multiple after school activities. But more so, I'm speaking about after I got sick. I was pretty isolated. I had a lot of anxiety. It was very hard for me to leave the house. And I, at the time, because it was so hard to leave the house, I didn't finish high school. I had to get my GED. So I have always struggled with my mental health. When I met my ex-boyfriend at the time, I was doing a bit better. I got out of the hospital, I think earlier that year. For context, I've had many, many, many hospitalizations. So I got out of the hospital earlier that year. And I started like walking a lot. I was walking in Central Park. I was in a program for my mental health around that time. And I would walk about 30 blocks to get to a train station that's close to where I live. So I don't have to get one stop. I was swimming a lot. I was swimming like 3 times a week. And I was on a new medicine and it was doing really well for me. All of that at the time helped me lose like 80 pounds. And I was doing pretty well. I met my ex, at like a school program. It wasn't like for mental health or anything. It was just like for people that maybe didn't do the best in high school or got their GED and were looking to get into like kind of like a transition to go to college. You know what I mean? I was trying to go to college at the time. They were like, I was told about something called College Bridge. And to kind of help a smooth transition. Yeah, anyway. So I met him there. And I met a bunch of other people there as well. That was kind of like my first dipping my toe back into socializing. So that was at the time a fun experience. A lot of the guys had a crush on me. I actually briefly dated one other guy before I met my ex and we connected. Eh, that face was not for the guy, it was for my ex. But yeah, anyway. And I finally met my ex. I actually honestly, before I even dated him, I did have a crush on him. Like I saw him from across the room, so to speak, you know. And I talked a bit about the abuse I experienced with him. And it definitely affected my mental health. I guess I'll tell it a bit again here. Maybe it'll be a bit more in depth here. I don't know. So everything was pretty much fine in the beginning. You know what I mean? Things started to get weird. I think I was spending a lot of time with him. And he asked for space. And I was like, oh, I was kind of thrown off because I was having a good time. But I was like, okay, that's fine. So Like, I gave him space and I decided to hang out with a friend. Um, he got really mad at that whole situation. It was a guy friend, but I always viewed him platonically at the time. He wasn't really like aesthetically like my type. But he got like really mad at that whole situation. I would say that's probably where it started to take a turn. The relationship. Um, he started to like be like super manipulative. I remember one time I was hanging out with him and all this. I typically hung out with him and his homeboys. When I was there, the homeboys were always there. So one time, we were all riding our bike in my neighborhood. Um, and the friend that didn't like me, again, let me kind of rehash it here. So he had a friend that would kind of harass me, but he would do it in front of my ex. So he would say like terrible things about my body. I lost a lot of weight at the time and I was a lot smaller than I am now, but I still wasn't secure in my aesthetic. And he would say terrible things about my body. And when I was gaining a bit of weight back, he made a point to point that out. Yeah. So that was that guy. And he would do this literally right in front of my ex. My ex would just zip, you know. He also would say terrible things about my mental health, kind of like just call me like crazy and like kind of just say like kind of like, oh, you're going back to the insane asylum, like things like that, like just really weird things. And like I don't remember every single thing he said because it was a long time ago, you know what I mean? But he said a lot of weird things. So going back to the riding bikes on where I live. So we were all riding our bike. It was me and two of his other friends, or three of his other friends. I forgot if another guy was there. I don't want to say names, but there was at least two friends there and possibly a third. And as we're riding back, I'm going home. The friend that doesn't like me, I guess, said to my ex, "Hey, I'm gonna pull up on these girls. You should totally go and like." I don't know what's allowed on YouTube, but slide them out because she had a thing for you and you should like hook up with her. And like I'm gonna sell her illegal paraphernalia because I guess she did substances. At the time I didn't do any except for maybe alcohol here and there. I'm gonna sell her substances and you'll be there like to as like a wingman for the cell, but also like to have sex. You know, I'm staring there. I'm like looking. I'm like, oh, he's probably gonna be like, why would you say that? Like, I can't do that. I'm with Melissa. No, he didn't. He was kind of going along with it. Oh yeah, I remember her. Yeah, she was so rude to me. She got a thing for me now. Oh yeah, like he was actually like going along with it, and then he left me with his friends, and I'm assuming at that point that I don't know what happened there. Maybe they didn't, maybe they didn't. But it's even if he didn't, it's very strange to have that conversation literally in front of me. And we were in a monogamous relationship, or at least so I thought, on my end. So just weird, manipulative, like things like that. I said it in the other video, but yeah, he also used to like punch holes in the wall, kind of I'm assuming to intimidate me. When he would like, if we got into like a back and forth, he would like start punching holes in the wall. It was very strange. I say all of this to say about the declining mental health. Around that time, during all of that weird stuff, I attempted to end my life on 3 different occasions. And my parents, they thought it was just a development of, you know, I have bipolar disorder. I've been in the hospital in and out, never for suicide attempts. But, oh, there's just part of her mental illness, you know? My god sister actually had the insight and she told my mother, no, this is because of her boyfriend at the time, you know? It was because of her boyfriend. And he asked me, "Oh, are you doing this because of me?" I was saying, "No, no." And I didn't fully realize that I was. But my mental health was seriously deteriorating at a time where I was actually doing really good things for myself. I even enrolled myself into college during that time I was with my ex. And I just couldn't focus on school. Like, I just wasn't doing well, like, mentally and emotionally. And I say all of that to say, if you're in a relationship and you're noticing things about yourself, whether that be, let's say you're a really high maintenance girly and you're noticing that, like, you're not keeping your maintenance appointments, or like you're a gym girly and like you just stopped going to the gym, or like your mood might just go down, you start feeling sad for whatever reason, you start like isolating yourself, all of these are signs that you're probably in a, if not abusive relationship, a very toxic one. A relationship, in my personal opinion, should always improve your life. It should always add to your life. It should make you feel enriched. It should make you feel like worthy. Like, not that you need outside validation, but like, if that person that you're with is not lifting you up, there's no reason for you to be with them. And I noticed that like a lot of young women and young girls will put their entirety into a man, or a woman if you go that way, and they will neglect themselves severely, and it can affect you. It can affect your mental health, and if you are in a relationship and that is happening to you, please get out. Get out. Get out. Sorry. Yeah, definitely get out of that situation. It's not for you. And you deserve full, whole, enriching love. That is pretty much, I guess, all I'm gonna say about that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am currently releasing singles about that relationship. And I hope you enjoy. 2 of them are out now, Silly Clown and Time to Hurt Some More. I'm dropping an album about that whole situation in the fall. See you next time.